Boom shakalaka! Welcome to another Sasha Daygame podcast. This one is very special. This one is happening right now as we speak, live from Anarchapulco in Texas. Just kidding. It's the Texas of Mexico, basically. Acapulco. Shit is crazy. People do what they want, especially during the Anarchapulco event. People are just living life, being free. It's beautiful. And of course, my guests are going to be from Texas, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, really special podcast today. And I've just been having a blast this week. It's just fucking madness out here. There was a roast yesterday. I got to roast Mr. Jeff Berwick, which was really fun, which is awesome. I didn't realize how much fun it could be just writing a bunch of jokes brutally and honestly and just shitting all over someone could actually be. It's great. I wanna get part-time gigs just roasting people. It's so much fun. But yeah, it's just been an amazing couple of days. Today's the third day of the event, and you know, I've just been learning a lot about anarchy and what that means. And I never really knew this about myself, but I've actually been an anarchist my whole life. I've never, so I just didn't realize there was even a movement of people who just were anarchists, and I didn't know what that meant. And today I'm really going to talk about a little bit about my experience and what that really means and how that fits into freedom and the world we're trying to build. Because if you haven't noticed, the world is completely fucked, and it's run by evil motherfuckers. And if we don't all start coming together and doing something, it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And yeah, and that's, I'm about that. I've been talking for many, many years, even though I'm, doing my job, like coaching men, dating, and all this kind of stuff. But if you come to my live talks or on some of the videos I put out, you'll see me talking a lot about breaking free of the system and how evil the system is. And basically, I've been talking about anarchy. I've been talking about doing what you want to further yourself and better yourself and live authentically, while at the same time fucking the system, which is trying to fuck you. And so I didn't realize, but it's not really the system. It's the fact that we're all brainwashed to give legitimacy to a form of power other than ourselves. We're told we're not okay to make our own decisions. There's someone who's going to tell us what to do. There's someone that's going to protect us. There's authority out there. There's other people that have authority over us, and they'll make it okay. They're going to take care of us. Well, guess what? I never gave permission to anyone ever to take care of me or look after me or tell me what to do. And even if I had, they're not doing a very good job, and I'm taking it back. So that's what anarchy is about, and it's very fucking important. And I have some amazing guests today I really want to talk to. It's funny, one of my friends, Elizabeth from Texas, well, she moved to Texas from LA because she realized California's fucking collapsing, so she escaped and went somewhere a little bit safer. Though safe is a relative word when you're living in the United States. But yeah, she mentioned to me that some other people are going to Anarchapulco, and I was actually telling Jeff, yeah, but dude, like other people that I know are telling me that they have friends going to this event, so like the word is getting out there. And he's like, yeah, that's cool, and it happened more than once. And so of course I'm at the event, and a couple of guys, one of the guys comes up to me from the show, and they're like, hey, you're friends with Elizabeth? We have, we do the show, the Liberty show in Texas, and they're fucking cool dudes, and they're all about the Liberty. So I'm gonna bring them in. They've got the crypto show, which is actually an actual legitimate radio show, not like my podcast, which is just like for like 8 guys in a basement somewhere. But it's called the Crypto Show. It's on 89.1 FM in Austin. So if you're in Austin, you can check that out. They're also on thecryptoshow.com/listen live. And let's say hi to the guys. What's up, fellas?
Hello. Good to be here. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. You give us way too much legitimacy, by the way. We may technically be on a real radio station, but you probably have way more listeners.
We have to move. We actually have to move the antenna randomly to keep the government from stealing it.
Okay.
It's another story.
Yeah. Is that an actual happen? Because you had that funny look on your face, like I don't know if it's a joke or
it's pirate radio actually.
Oh really?
That many times actually. So.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah. No, because I was just like, oh, these guys are on the fucking radio.
No, okay. Well, it's been on air for over 10 years, and it's 1,500 watts, so that's all you have to have legally without a license. So the FCC comes after them in different ways, like unauthorized antenna, whatever backhanded crap that they can pull. And they've successfully been fighting it for 10 years, and they can't get them off the air. So fuck them.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we know the FCC is it's just trying to protect us all.
Yeah, just like the rest of the government.
I know.
Yeah, just
to help us. I think I damaged my ear from hearing an F-bomb one time.
Yeah. No, the whole well, I'm a comic, right? So like I do not censor myself whatsoever, and I think censorship is so ridiculous that, like, especially coming from a government that steals your money and uses it to murder civilians, but don't say the F-bomb, don't swear. But you can murder 500,000 fucking Iraqi children with sanctions, or just directly bomb churches when people are getting married that have nothing to do with anything. That's totally fine, but don't say cocksucker.
Isn't that a bizarre?
Do you know what I'm saying? It's fucking ridiculous, and it all comes in with the illusion that they're good, the illusion that they're that they have some sort of authority.
Well, yeah.
Therefore,
to be fair, those were some pretty angry looking children.
Those children were pissing me off.
They were kind of brown skinned, so that's very threatening.
Yeah,
we're trying to lower brown privilege. But,
yeah, I can actually see him saying that.
That's a backstory.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, it's so absurd. And so even before, so I've always hated all forms of authority. So even when I was doing stand up, I would love to just say the most politically incorrect, racist, homophobe, anything.
That's what makes you good stand up, though.
Absolutely. But it wasn't just that it was funny. It was that anything that might offend anyone, I would do it just on the principle that I should be able to do it, and they should get their own shit together and deal with it. Because if you can't take a fucking joke, whether it's about you or anyone else, you have personal issues. You need personal growth. You need to get over that shit. And as a comedian, that was always the way I was. It's like, you have issues. You deal with it. It's fucking freedom. It's the principle. Anyone should say anything they want to say. They are words. Words do not fucking kill anyone. Words do not fucking bomb civilians. They're fucking words. Get over it.
Yeah.
And that's always. So I was always an anarchist comedian. I never thought about it. I didn't know about this movement till literally 3 months ago. Till I really started studying this stuff.
Well, that recently, wow.
Yeah. Well, I've been following Jeff Berwick for like 3 years. But again, I was just, I would, I'll be like, well, cool, he's talking about the economy, what's really going on. I know there's a collapse coming. I know everyone's going to lose everything they fucking have. A lot of jobs are going to be, I was like, that's really cool. And then I listened to a couple of anarchists, but I didn't really realize there's an entire movement, and it's really much deeper than just like knowing what's going on with the economy, for example, or being about freedom. It's a real,
Well, it's a whole philosophy of life. And a lot of people who are in the movement get into really deep spiritual stuff, like Elizabeth, our mutual friend. Like, she's really into some deep spiritual sides of things that seem unconnected on the surface, but are really related to the whole philosophy of anarchism and being, your own person and not respecting authority.
Yeah, I mean, it fits in everything, and it just goes so much with what I'm doing and teaching anyway, which was just, like, improve yourself, treat people with respect, do what you want with your life, fuck the system, fuck with what you're told, fuck the brainwashing, do what you want to do in your life, so long as it doesn't directly infringe on anyone else's happiness or rights. Don't fuck anyone in the process. But other than that one rule, do whatever you want, regardless of what anyone thinks of you, or without anyone restricting you. That's always been my thing.
Yeah.
So like literally since I was a child, this was my thing. I remember being like a fucking kid and getting in trouble because I'm like, no, I should be able to do this. Fuck off. As a kid.
We were talking with Larkin Rose about this yesterday, essentially, and what it boils down to is it is instinctual, basic moral code that basically everyone has. That's what anarchism is. Just do whatever you want unless it hurts another person, and don't hurt other people, and that's basically how everyone knows to live life. And people are 90% anarchist in the way that they operate,
exactly,
both in their moral code and in just how they live their daily lives. It's just that when it comes to that small sliver of the political sphere, they just go crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because if in your everyday life you're all about you live your life, everyone knows not to fucking steal from people or beat people up and we look at people who do this stuff as assholes. You know what I mean? Never mind even the law, but if you steal from your brother, you're a fucking asshole, and if you fuck people over, you're an asshole. That's just what it is because most people are inherently good. That's the funny thing. But then suddenly, no, when it comes to ruling over us, we give all our powers away to some fucking government that actually, regardless of what you think, is most of the time not actually elected by the people. That's all a big fucking fraud if you really look into it. It's like, well, it depends what country you're in. I believe there are still countries that have genuine elections, absolutely, but a lot of the Western ones do not.
Oh, I don't believe the United States does.
No,
not in any major election.
No,
absolutely not.
No fucking way. Especially if you actually look at what happened in 2001 with Al Gore and George. It was a joke. It was a fucking joke. People knew it then. But anyway, that we're going to get more into voting shortly. But so it's just ridiculous that people will give their permission to rule over them to another group of people who are actually completely corrupt, completely greedy, and have only one interest in mind, or two, money and power. That's fucking ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And if you look at it, people know. The standard jokes in our society are politicians are corrupt, politicians lie. It's the standard. No, you won't meet people who are like, no, they're really honest and they're doing a great job. Those people aren't even out there. So if we're all agreeing these people are all fucking corrupt, why are they even in the system? Why are they even part of the whole thing that's going on? We don't. They're just. It's absurd.
It's double thing.
What are they doing here?
Yeah.
If they do accidentally get elected, it only lasts for one term. Then they're out of
Yeah, but it's just
honest politician.
yeah.
If that's ever
there. Remotely, yeah.
But like we just don't need them, and we just believe that the government has to be there, and we need a government. We don't. I'm starting to realize we don't need a government. It doesn't even exist. It's not really real. Like, point to the government.
It's a state of mind. It really is. It's a state of mind of being personally submissive to other people, and the other people who just happen to be organized and have guns. And
Right.
It's ridiculous. No, and it's demeaning too, because to believe in government means to believe that you are not capable of managing your own life, and that's degrading, and that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and most of and I realize my audience, they've not been exposed to these type of ideas, so I can imagine what they're thinking right now, which is the standard stuff. Who's going to build the roads? What if I need to see a doctor? What if blah 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 blah? What about security? What about security? All this kind of stuff, and so I think we need to address that.
You didn't drive down. Whoever built those roads, please stop.
So let's address that, because again, it's obvious to me now, but the government doesn't build anything. People build things. People make things. Doctors fix people. The government doesn't do anything. The government just takes money from one group of people and gives it to another group of people. That's it. But they waste shitloads of fucking money on corruption, on themselves, and on war. Yeah. And it's horrific. And again, so do we really need that? Do we really need a middleman that's armed that uses force against us when we don't follow the rules that they created without our consent? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I say the answer is fuck no. You're going to tell, and and then they're restricting us shit tons. They're restricting us fucking shit tons. What we can do with our bodies, what we can put into our bodies, where we can travel. It's ridiculous. And if you don't do what they say, if you don't give them money, what happens? People with guns come and take you away, and they put you in a cage. In America, you can go to jail. In Canada, I don't think you go to jail, but they'll fine you and fuck with you and shut down your business and all kinds of stuff. Depends where you are. But it's basically extortion. It's blackmail.
Right. Well,
and you never agreed to it.
Yeah.
I never agreed to it.
We all signed the social contract when we were born, and we're of a proper mental age to consent. I mean,
yeah, so that I don't agree with. And there's another guest I'm going to have on my show where we're going to talk about that. But the stuff that actually happens when you're born is very disturbing. You're actually essentially sold, and
I've heard about
it's really
this.
fucking it's really terrifying. We are not, when you are born, if you have a birth certificate, you are not a free human being. You are dead. You're basically dead, and they take over your identity and they use you as leverage against debt. That's actually what's going on. I'm not an expert on it, but holy fuck, I'm going to get the guy who is an expert on it at some point, and people are going to fucking freak out, because they're literally using us as collateral to create debt and destroy the fucking planet, and we're literally slaves isn't even the word. We're like we're basically batteries, like in the Matrix. That's what we are.
I was fixing to
It's
say,
fucking it's disgusting. It's insane.
Did you see the documentary on that?
Which one?
The Matrix.
Oh yeah, that's funny. That is it. And the Matrix literally is a documentary. That is what's happening right now to everybody on the planet.
Well,
Unless you're at the top.
there's actually a newer documentary that kind of explains it a lot better. Have you seen Idiocracy?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
There's a lot of
that's right.
documentaries
Yeah, that
that
was
explain the modern world, unfortunately, like that. No, but I've heard this stuff before, and I haven't done any investigation into it, so I can't. I kind of have to remain a little agnostic as to it, but it would not surprise me if that's all true. And I know a lot of credible people who've done the research who believe exactly what you're talking about, and it terrifies me to think that it goes that deep. The level of control and the level of just level of control. It's terrifying. So when are you gonna have that guest on? By the way, I'm gonna have to listen in.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him on soon, and I'll just put that podcast out in the future.
Awesome.
So
Check out for
it's really insane stuff. Basically, you learn that we're all living under maritime law, and it's all fake. And there's actually ways you can opt out completely and become a sovereign man, and where their laws don't actually apply to you. And the guy's been who runs, he's been studying this for like 25 years, so they really know their shit. So
that's awesome. I'll have to check that out. Maybe get him on.
Yeah, I guess if you're born without a birth certificate, no country has a claim to you.
That's right.
Well, I currently don't have a passport, so does that make me a sovereign man right now?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
You're
Okay,
you're already screwed, but temporarily you can say.
Oh, okay, well, that's good.
His passport has something to do with the brown privilege.
Oh, it's because he's got a big penis.
Yeah.
Don't think big stomach, big penis. It doesn't work that way.
Oh, okay.
He actually is quite the opposite.
I was confused there for a second.
No, so I traveled here with a Mexican guy who lives in the U.S. He has a resident alien card. Has no passport. We drove over here, and we'll drive back. And they won't ask him for a passport, but they're going to ask him. He's going to ride back with me. This is going to be interesting.
It's going to be
He's
interesting.
not even a U.S. citizen. He has free entry. Come on in. Here's Chris. Has his driver's license and everything, and he's going to get a big hassle because he doesn't have his fucking passport.
Yeah.
That's brown privilege.
So we'll see how it goes. Or maybe we'll videotape our crossing. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's not interesting because as a good airplay as it might be, I don't want to have to go through all this hassle. I just want to get back.
You might be fine. I mean, as bad as the system is, some of the people in it are actually just totally cool, normal fucking people who have no, they don't know what's going on. So you might just get a real friendly guy who's like, cool, come on, you'll be fine. But yeah, it's quite an interesting situation being in a country without a passport. But it happens to be the country right next to your country, so it's not like that doesn't happen. That happens a lot.
Yeah, and they have relatively good relations with each other, so it's not like
you're not in Honduras without a passport. That would be worse.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, so but yeah. So what was the? I'd love to know what was the. What happened? How did you guys end up with this pirate freaking radio show? And what's it about? And what's your why are you doing it?
Well, Danny actually was part of the founding of the show with Harlan Dietrich, who is the founder of Brave New Books in Austin, Texas. And Brave New Books is basically the local underground, both literally and figuratively. It's underground and it's underneath Chase Bank, fittingly enough, a Wall Street bank. You could have planned that more perfectly.
Beautiful.
And so it's an anarchist bookstore, also into a lot of alternative stuff like alternative health, conspiracy. I'll just throw that out there. I know that's a taboo word even among anarchist circles, but so a lot of alternative stuff. And I'll just say for my part real quick, several years ago, I don't even know how many, it's probably like 6, 7, I found Brave New Books, met Harlan. I was libertarian leaning at the time. And thanks to Harlan and some other anarchists I met through the bookstore, I went from being a libertarian leaning to a full-blown anarchist. And anyway, about when did the show start?
February 2014.
February 2014, yeah.
Just before the Texas Bitcoin Conference.
It's been almost
2 years.
It was
when we were organizing the first Texas Bitcoin Conference, it actually came out of the meetup there. And that was the idea. And the radio station's been connected to the bookstore for the whole time that the store's been there, so we got an in to have this. So Bitcoin meetups at the store turned into the Texas Bitcoin Conference, turned into the show. Yeah. I was actually not one of the original hosts, but after the first almost year, I became co-host with And then under the Chase Bank thing, we had a tagline going there for a while because we were Bitcoin mining underneath the bank, so the line was we were literally undermining the bank.
Nice, dude. That's beautiful. That's perfect.
Yeah, and so
no, that's too perfect. I hope people appreciate the perfection.
I know that's
just awesome.
I don't know who came up with that. Probably Harlan.
Yeah,
he's the brain. So Harlan is still technically part of the show in a manner of speaking. He's the founder of it, and he kind of took time off from the store and from the show to do other stuff because he kind of got burnt out with. He would just worked hard for years to manage the store. Anyway, but we're thinking he's going to come back to the show pretty soon, and we're excited about that.
That's awesome. I feel I missed out. I was just in Texas a few months ago with my buddy Kurt. He's actually here now. I don't know if you guys run into him. Really cool guy.
We're staying with him.
Yeah. You're staying with him?
Yeah. We're staying with Kurt, and we met him at Brave New Books with Elizabeth.
Yeah, well, that's why I told him he has to meet her because he's going to go to Texas. I was like, you guys are going to fucking get along, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, awesome.
No, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
He listens to our show.
Oh yeah, fucking sweet. Yeah,
that's why he's a great guy, not because he's personally great. He listens
to
our show.
And I think we met this other guy here that listens too, so we have 2 listeners.
Oh, beautiful. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I knew as soon as Elizabeth said I'm gonna go move to Austin, I was like, oh, we'll have at least one friend for you there that you have to meet. So yeah,
it's a small world. The anarchist world is a small world, to be sure. So
unfortunately,
it's getting bigger.
Oh, we're gonna blow it up, dude.
Absolutely.
I'm on board now, so I got 500-600 dudes at least.
5, 6, and you're what?
I always make jokes
Jews?
about my
Are you
my
Jewish?
tiny cult phone. Yeah, technically yes.
Well,
but
no,
my
so-
penis isn't circumcised, so no. In that
Uh-oh.
way, depends how you want to look at it.
Well, the only reason I ask is
Aren't those dirty Jews?
I negotiate a lot on prices, so I am definitely Jew
he's
Ish.
Jewish in spirit.
in spirit.
No, the only reason I ask is that you said your parents were Russian.
That's right.
immigrants. And I know a lot of the Russians I met in the Slavic department at UT when I took some Russian back in college. A lot of them were Jewish immigrants in like the sort of Russian diaspora of like the 70s and 80s. So there's a good chance I figured. But anyway, off topic.
So what I wanted to know is, what's the ultimate goal of the show? What are you trying to? You just want to spread anarchy? You want to get people on Bitcoin? I mean, what are you guys trying to?
Yeah.
I mean, it's two sides of the same coin, so to speak. We recognized early on, and Harlan in particular, because Harlan, I mean, again, I owe my anarchism to him. I owe a lot of my open-mindedness to him. I owe being into Bitcoin to him. I mean, and not to make him sound like this like cold leader or something, but he's just a very insightful, brilliant guy and was always on top of things. But our show is about anarchism. We occasionally get into politics and economics. We've had shows about cannabis legalization. We occasionally get into some of the more fringe stuff, conspiracy. But
Civil asset forfeiture,
Civil asset
whistleblowers, you name it, all of that.
But we also recognize that cryptocurrency and related, internet security and privacy stuff is really important for spreading the philosophy of liberty, as well as just maintaining liberty in today's technological age. Because governments obviously have real control over us through control of our electronic media, and so that is such a key thing to protect ourselves with. We've had guests on like William Binney, the former technical director of the NSA, and while I take anyone that high up in government with a grain of salt, just because you never know if they're disinfo, he seemed pretty genuine and had a lot of very damning things to talk about as far as the government control of communication. And so anyway, yeah, I mean, it's whatever gets people closer to the truth. We'd love them to become anarchists, but if they just become Bitcoin enthusiasts, or if they simply open their minds up to the to the corruption in the world and to what's going on, we feel like we've made a difference. So
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's really important, and I'm
and
seeing.
we want to pick up women.
Oh, well, there you go. Anarchist women, because they're into threesomes. That's awesome. So
Or some of the ones that you might find here are into like tinsomes and shit.
you might, yeah. I mean, you might. I'd be a little bit nervous if they're in the room right now, standing around us,
No.
as our eyes slowly gaze over at them. Not that there are any. Sadly, there are no such girls in the room now, but that would be funny if they were. All right. Well, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's great. It's great connecting with people who are also in the podcasting business. Another thing is, why even bother with the freaking FM thing now? It's so easy to just put a podcast, put it on the internet, which you're doing anyway. So why even bother with everyone has internet? So what's the
Because
point?
you're going to reach a different audience. We have the luxury of just the random guy driving through Austin who's surfing his channels and accidentally finds out about Bitcoin or whatever.
Okay.
So,
And we were actually having this conversation the other night with Angel Clark, and exactly what he said. But there is kind of a resurgence of FM radio to some extent. Not to say that it won't be obsolete eventually and replaced by Sirius XM and streaming stuff and the internet. But you have, just like with print 2.0, where books and even magazines have kind of made a comeback, at least in alternative circles. FM has kind of had that same resurgence. And again, like he said,
it also makes it very easy for me to get guests that we otherwise would not get just because they think that we don't know.
Well,
because it still has this
Okay,
cachet.
funny.
It still has
I
this
respect
cachet
that.
with its
Yeah.
goal. Especially older people who grew up mostly with FM before the internet. When they hear, "Oh my God, you're on an FM radio station," they think that's the coolest thing ever. Even if
Right.
your audience is way bigger on the internet than it is in the FM
Right.
arena.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we have some pretty big guests that just come on regular and first name basis kind of thing. John McAfee.
yeah.
Nice.
And then Austin is so concentrated with alternative thinkers and liberty-minded people that FM actually in that market is very powerful.
I
Because there are
actually
a lot of-
I advertise on this station and I get a lot of business from it.
really?
So yeah,
Okay.
I don't
Interesting.
have to pay for my ads because I do all the work for the station.
I knew I should have plugged my website when I was on your show. Fuck it.
Yeah, I think I added it on.
Yeah, we can always throw a plug-in for you too. So.
Oh, I did.
Well, we're keeping this on our. We're putting this on our.
Oh, no, this is going on.
For my-
Oh, just for his. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I wasn't sure if we were.
That's why we can say cuss words.
You can say anything
Fuck
you
you.
want. You motherfucker. You piece of shit.
Why is everyone getting up on me? I don't get it.
Well,
Because you're the dodgiest
because
For sure. Okay.
because
You look like you sell drugs to children. That's it.
he does.
If you were hanging around in front of a school,
He fucking
you would be
does.
arrested immediately, and
That's
no one
probably true.
and no one would question it.
I fit that profile. It's the chops. I think.
Actually,
We're
funny.
jumping on you because it would be a soft landing.
One thing I want to we got some other amazing guests, but just one thing I want to share with you guys, and then we'll get you the fuck out of here. I was in New York and doing my thing. I went to Whole Foods, got some food. I'm chilling, and I like to work out a little bit. And I go in, and there's this little sort of play area for kids, and I want to do some pull-ups. And I just go and I'm working out. And there's a sign there that I find really disturbing. And the sign said, you can only be in there if you're with children. Adults cannot go in there by themselves. So public property in the United States, because you might be a pedophile, you can't go in there. Even if there's no kids around, doesn't matter. But even if there are kids, can't go in there, do some pull-ups, do some push-ups. Can't do it. That's fucked up. And if you think about, just imagine that scenario. I'm in there. Police officer walks up to me. Hey, sir, are you here with any kids? No. No, I'm just here. I'm doing some push-ups. You can't be in here by yourself, sir. Okay, I could go out there and get a kid and come back with one. Would that help? And then I'd be walking around, excuse me, sir, hey, can I borrow your kid just for 15 minutes? I just want to do some pull-ups, or I need to finish my
it's like they're
workout.
perversely
You know what I'm
encouraging pedophilia.
In a way, that's what I'm saying. I need to find
kids
some
come
children
with.
to go on public property and do some fucking
Well,
do a workout.
It literally
That
makes
is some, hey kid, you want some money? You want a lollipop? No, I don't want to fuck you. I just want to do some push-ups in the park. Come on, kid, work with me here. I'm trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking it's getting creepy.
That
dude.
is so bizarre. No, and
It's getting creepy.
It's
It's out
an
of control.
Orwellian world of like
That's
contradictions.
That's just one thing, but it's everywhere. If you really pay attention to it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And
that doesn't surprise me, honestly. I mean, that's awful, but it doesn't surprise me.
And this is what we need to fucking have. So guys, if you're in Austin, fucking listen to the show 89.1. Otherwise, go and listen to their podcast. They're fucking awesome. Liberty Radio. And anything else you want to plug?
It's on Bitcoin Talk Radio, LRN.FM, Let's Talk Bitcoin, Logos Radio Network.
And you can go to the Crypto Show.
All the shit you've never heard of. It's
Yeah.
there, folks.
Yeah.
It's
You
there.
can go to our website too, thecryptoshow.com, and you can
Yeah.
check out the archives from there, and you can live stream from there when we air every Sunday and Wednesday night, 8 to 10 p.m. Locally on Internet World FM. So.
Nice. Guys.
Send us your Bitcoins or hash coins.
hey,
We love those.
hey, I want Bitcoins. Fuck you guys. Don't steal my Bitcoins. So, love you guys. Thanks so much for coming on the Sasha
Thank you,
Daygame
man.
podcast.
We
It's
really
awesome.
appreciate it.
And I'm going to get on my next guest. So,
Sounds great. Thanks, sir.
coming up now, I'm going to have 3 dudes who are really fucking cool. So, I'll tell a little story before I bring these guys on. When you look at the political system today, it's a bunch of shit. And I remember, it doesn't make any sense to me that we are still, people are filling out ballots and voting. And I actually had this idea years ago where I was like, why don't we just use the internet? Why don't we just use the internet? It doesn't, everyone could just get a vote, and it's instantaneous, and then, like, whatever the vote is, any topic that comes up, people vote, and whatever the result is, that's what the government has to do. That just makes sense. It would be real, if you want to call it democracy, or at least, following the people's will. But it would be good. If people voted on shit and it happened, that would be legitimate. Whatever you want to call it. The people should get what the people want. So, and it was just this crazy idea I had, and I just tell my friends, like, we should just use the internet. Someone's going to come up with this eventually. We should just use the internet to for people to vote on what they want. That would make sense. And everyone's like, yeah, that makes total sense. And I'm like, of course that's not going to work, because that would be legitimate and authentic, and it would actually, the politicians wouldn't be able to fuck everyone over. And so anyway, I'm at the Anarchapulco event, and I'm hanging around, and sure enough, I'm in one of the rooms, and these dudes come up that aren't actually, at the time, they weren't doing a speech. They just came up to do it. It was like a little Shark Tank, where people would come up with their business ideas. Some people had businesses that were already going or being developed or whatever. And they had this thing where they're talking about, they have this thing called followmyvote.com, and it's proprietary software they've come up with, where we're going to get into this stuff, but basically where you have one authentic vote that is genuine, and you can actually vote, citizens vote, and then you can actually track where your vote went, and then you can have genuine elections that can't be manipulated. and it's happening. It's actually happening. They've developed it. It's being developed, and it's a real thing. And I was like, everyone in the room was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! This is awesome. This is the best thing ever. Why have you not done this before? What is going on here?" And so I just connected with the guys. The guys were really down to earth, fucking cool dudes. I've been hanging out with them. And then I was like, "You guys got to come on the podcast. Let's talk about this. Let's spread this fucking message." So on the Sasha Daygame podcast, here we are now. I got 3 sexy motherfuckers. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Whoever wants to go.
So I'm Adam Ernest. I'm the CEO of the company. Great to be here. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and it's been a pleasure meeting you and all these other fine folks here at Anarchapulco. We're having a blast.
It's freaking awesome. And then over here we got Mr. Check out the sexy voice on Mr. Nathan Hort. Here it is.
Hi there, I'm Nathan Hort.
That's his
CPO,
normal.
Follow my vote.
That's his actual voice, folks. I'm not like pressing the MP3 or something as a joke. I don't have someone from Star Wars here. This is his voice. Just keep talking. Go ahead, say some more stuff.
Some more stuff. All right. Well, there's one thing I want to emphasize. You mentioned proprietary software. Well, all of our software is open source.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So I want to emphasize that right from the get-go.
Okay. But you guys made it.
Yes.
So it is in that way. That's what I meant. You guys did it. But yeah. And then Mr. Tommy over there.
Hello, I'm Will Long.
Pocket. Why did I think he was Tommy? Oh no, sorry. He's Tommy. Tommy's on my left. I got confused. Mr.
I'm Will Long, and I am the marketing manager for
How good a name is that? Will Long. You could just see him just opening up with the door. There's a pool behind him. He's got a towel, and the girl's like, "Hey, did you order a pizza?" Yes. Yes, I did. I'm Will Long, and I love pizza. Why don't you come inside just for a minute? That's exactly.
Yeah, he lucked out there.
Yeah, that's fucking beautiful. So yeah, guys. So this what you're doing is freaking epic, and whoever wants to take the reins, just tell us a little bit about what this is.
It's the right time. We're in the right place at the right time. And to your point, you've been asking yourself the question, why hasn't something like this been done before? Well, we finally reached a paradigm shift in what's technologically possible with the advent of Bitcoin and blockchain technology, the underlying technology behind Bitcoin. We're leveraging that same technology to secure our voting system and make it verifiable and completely transparent, censorship proof. So it is a really, really amazing time in which we can finally bring this idea and make it real, and it's super, super exciting. This is something that's bugged me for a long time. I mean, you mentioned the will of the people, and making sure that the government bends to the will of the people. If there must be a government, the people should be in power and in control. And we haven't really had a system in which people can stand up and exercise their right to vote in a way that can't be censored. If you really think about our system, it's a way that people can cast their opinion, share their voice with their government in a way that can't be ignored. This is on the blockchain, and so it's very empowering stuff. And like I said, we're solving a problem that's existed for quite some time. But it's been so like in 2000, for instance, I just turned 18 in 2000. It was the first election I ever voted as a presidential election in 2000, and we all know what happened, the crazy controversies, Al Gore, George Bush. We really didn't get to the bottom and we won that election. We even stopped the recount that was actively going on. For me, that was a problem. To not know the truth, to not be 100% sure of the truth, and know who rightfully won that election. And
I'm pretty sure it was Al Gore, but
yeah. Well, yeah, and I said that's not right. That's not fair. That shouldn't be possible. And in the year 2000, I would think we have the internet now. Why isn't something like this exist? But it's been a security issue when it all boils down to it. And like I said, since the rollout of blockchain technology, we looked at that light bulb went off and said, okay, that's how we do it. That's how we build a completely end-to-end verifiable voting system. It's really a truly honest voting system, and that idea is resonating with people all over the world. We've been hitting the campaign trail, if you will, for the last year and a half, and telling people, look, this can be done. When we remember clear as day the first voting systems industry conference that we went to, and we had built a user experience demo and showed people this is the future of voting, and it literally blew their minds. That it was like we came and dropped alien technology out from the sky, and they're just sitting there scratching their head like, what is this? I don't understand. Like, this can't be, And we've turned doubters into believers, one person at a time. We were actually recently mentioned in a publication put out by webreadsdemocracy.org, along with Verizon, Seidel, and some other huge names, recognizing us as a global leader in designing secure online voting systems. So it's about as legit as you can get there. And so this is happening, to your point. This is going to happen, and we can't wait to bring it to life.
It's kind of inevitable, right?
It's the natural evolution of voting. I mean, when you have the internet, you have blockchain technology, it's just going that way. It's going to happen. I mean, and people want it. At the end of the day, people want a convenient, secure way to cast their opinion. And not only elections, just in polls, opinion polls, just a way to be able to share their opinion. This system is going to exist as an open source system. We'll have an app that you can download directly from the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store. People can go in and create their own elections. They can create their own polls. They want to create their own poll that says, hey, I support living in a free society. Who's coming with me? People can cast in on that. But the world can come together and say, hey, yeah, I'm digging that. I like that. I want that.
Yeah, the power when millions of people decide even on their own to vote for something, and 90% of people all want something, and it's something the politicians aren't doing. That's system ending. Because when people realize, oh, they're completely ignoring us, and we've got the numbers to prove it.
Oh yeah.
That's really heavy. And what I was actually saying to you guys early, a few days ago when I met you guys, the way I suspect is you actually had a couple of, at least one government that was interested in talking to you guys, which is amazing.
We recently had an exchange with the Prime Minister of Bulgaria's office. They were very interested in adopting, verifiable online verifiable voting technology.
And that's freaking awesome. But my point was, I believe it's not going to be governments that demand this; it's going to be the people. And I think when people realize this exists and you can have genuine voting that can't be corrupted, like that one human being gets one vote and you can track where the vote goes and you can make sure, yep, my vote went in for sure. When people realize that exists and then there's a dodgy election, they're going to flip out. It will be the people with signs saying we want real elections with your company logo walking in front of their government. That is what's going to make governments go, okay, we'll do it. Because they won't have a choice. Because once people realize there is true voting, they're going to want true voting.
Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to add to that and make sure that it's very, very clear when we say verifiable voting what we're talking about. So in our voting system, you can actually cast your vote in an election and actually follow your vote into the ballot box and see it securely stored on the blockchain just as you cast it. You can verify with your own eyes, hey, that's my vote. It's stored in the ballot box and it's irreversible. You can't change it. And that is powerful. Seeing is believing. And when people can come together and cast their vote, and not only count their own vote, but count every other vote in the system, you can literally conduct your own recount in our system in a verifiable way. And we have a anonymous validation of the process that we've designed that prevents anyone from knowing who voted for who. We just know that all the votes are legit what the breakdown is in terms of percentage of votes for each candidate.
That's so freaking awesome, and I would love for you guys to tell people how they can follow you, and if there's anyone out there who can help you guys or whatever, please.
Sure, I'll let Will hit on that.
Yeah, so we are on Facebook, Twitter. You can find all of our links to all our social media pages on followmyvote.com. I really want to talk about our parallel election.
Okay.
This is something, Sasha, that we had talked about a little bit a few days ago. But we are hosting a parallel election for the 2016 presidential election for the United States. And we want people to actually go and experience what online voting could be like, and to prove that this does exist. We're climbing a pretty big hill, uphill battle, if you will. And there's a lot of people out there who don't want us to succeed. And we really have to create our own stage to prove that our our software is real and this is legit. And there's a lot of disbelievers out there. You know, we have people in academia, we have people in the computer science fields, you know, who say, you know, this is impossible, you know, but they don't really know about the technology we're using. They haven't really explored blockchain technology because they're somewhat closed-minded. You know, they think that they got the degree. You know, why should they have to learn anymore? You know, so we really have to get up there and prove that our system works. So I really want to talk about that and tell people that they can go sign up on our website. And we want everybody to take part. And it's really going to be cool if we get any one geographical location, even if it's a small town. If we can get more people voting in our system than the current system, that's going to be a game changer. That's just going to blow people's minds. Just
At that point, you know, which system is legitimate? The one that people are using, or the other one?
That's right. Yeah, that's fucking huge. Yeah, I think it's going to happen sooner than you think. I don't think it's going to take that long before it happens.
At that point, you know, then we're going to see people marching up to the Capitol buildings with signs and saying, you know, we want this. And we're really trying to build a grassroots movement. We need people to join us. We need people to say, you know, hey, we're standing with you. You know?
Well, it's only a matter of time before somebody who's a counselor or whatever hears this or another show and just goes, yeah, let's do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard. So that's the beautiful thing about this event, connecting with other people and getting the word out. It's so
Absolutely,
beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're here. You know, I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about this.
I love you guys. You guys are freaking awesome. And do you want to call out? Do you guys need programmers? Or do you like people want to help? You know, what do you need?
Yeah, so the biggest thing we need right now is more developers, especially people who know C++, but anyone who is familiar with blockchain technology would be really awesome if you know cryptography in general. But yeah, we've got, there's a page on our website, followmyvote.com/code-contributors. That website, that webpage gives you all the information for any developers who want to chip into the project. All the code is open source on GitHub. So, yeah, dive in and see what you can do.
Awesome. Yep.
And I want to add one thing. We're very responsive with contact requests on the website, so that's also a great way to reach out to us. You know, just go to followmyvote.com. I'm personally one of the guys who oversees, you know, all the contact requests that come in. So
yeah, a lot of those are just Sorry to interrupt you. Well, a lot of those are really just people trying to learn about the system. And we've had some really, really compelling, really awesome questions. And we've had to really dig deep and really put some really solid answers into deep aspects of how our technology works and whatnot. So I encourage people, if they're interested, to check out our FAQ.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if you have some kind of a personal question, oh, I'm really good at this, but I really want to be involved in the project, you know, like, just tell us, you know, reach out to us, and we would love to hear from you.
Awesome. You guys take Bitcoin donations?
We do.
Okay.
There's a donate page.
Yeah,
followmyvote.com/donate.
There it is. That little plug there. All right. Well, it was really awesome to meet you guys this weekend. You guys are all fucking cool dudes, and really happy to get you on and spread the message. So you guys fucking rock, and keep you up. I love you guys. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want more guys.
Much love. Much love.
So this is going to be an epic fucking Liberty podcast. I've never had 3 groups of guests on before, but I'm going to do it because I'm crazy. So this gentleman coming on now, I first heard about this crazy idea called Liberland. I think that a while ago. I think it was like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and I was actually in Serbia at the time, which is interesting. You know, I just read about it on the news and whatever, and I was like, wait a minute, it's a piece of land between like Serbia and Croatia. I was like, I've been to these countries. I've lived in Belgrade for a while because you know it's the most. Everyone who knows me knows the most beautiful women on the fucking planet are basically in Eastern Europe, and so I've been taking my students there. I've been all over that area: Budapest, Croatia, Serbia. I've dated girls from these countries. I love the food. I know these areas. They're freaking awesome. I've considered living there. So when I heard about this crazy guy declaring he's starting his own country called Liberland, I was like, what is this? And I wasn't sure to take it seriously or not, if it was a joke or what was going on, but it sounded pretty cool. And I've run into him briefly here in Anarchapulco. I missed this talk, sadly, but I'm going to watch the replay. So I'm excited to get him on here, just have a little chat. So here we have, I believe, I don't even know what your title is. Is it president? Is it citizen? The first citizen of? What's your actual? But he's the guy who started Liberland, for God's sakes. Here he is.
Yeah, we can call me Beach. I'm pretty fine with that. It's a great venture. You know, there are 400,000 people registered on the website. We still have some 300,000 emails that we weren't able go through from early days. But we are inviting anybody to apply for citizenship from all around the world. And this is the big thing about Liberland. That people realize that basically a nation and a country is nothing but a will of people to form a nation or a country. And this is, I think, the biggest mind opener about Liberland. And really, if there is enough people in the world that want to see Liberland there, it's going to be there pretty soon. And it's there since 13th of April. All these people that signed up for this project and did something for it, see this country there. And it's going to take a while. We are building the largest network of libertarian-minded people. We've got some 70 embassies now around the world. I'm pretty proud of the Mexican embassy as well. And we are going to make an event there. We've got all the aspects of statehood, but we don't have the control over the territory yet. And it's one of the most important aspects. And everybody realizes that. Serbia, when we started the country, said, we don't mind creation of Liberland in this territory because it's not formed on our property. And Croatia said we are an internet joke to them, but they do not see this piece of land as a part of their property either. So whenever we go there, we go there from anywhere, we get arrested by Croatian authorities. And this is something that we have to get through. It's the biggest obstacle at this time. But Croatia also said they viewed us as an internet joke, but now they are calling us a third party. They already recognize us as a state, in a sense. So we're doing this big event there on 13th of April to celebrate 1 year of existence. It's going to be an academic event, but then we are going to do a festival in the middle of summer holidays, and we invite everybody to come there and maybe be the part of the first settlers of this territory, because we need a lot of people to actually take over this piece of land.
It's an amazing idea, but I want to know, how did you even get the idea to start a country? And was it because the land was there, or did you get the idea first and then you thought, oh wait, I could take over this land? Or what was the original thinking here?
We really wanted to start in a libertarian state. We were looking for the best property to do that. And seriously, I truly believe there is no other better property on earth to do such a project now, to start a new country. And so we were looking for it. We almost ended up between Egypt and Sudan. But Jeremiah Heaton was there first. He started his country there. And then we decided, okay, let's look for something else. And then I found this piece of land on Wikipedia. I found very nice academic papers on it, where it's very clearly written that both of the countries for the last 24 years didn't have any interest in this piece of land. So we went there. I made a hole for the flag. We made a flag. We stick it there. And 2 days after was craziness. I think I did some 400 interviews so far for the world media. I think I was actually the most interviewed president in the world. And we've got also the biggest immigration request, probably. If you compare it to the size of the land, then definitely.
Sure.
But even worldwide, there may be some 800,000 people coming to Germany from Syria. But we've got 400,000 people coming to Liberland, and they really went there. There were thousands of people that came to the territory in the early days and throughout the whole summer that want to live there, and still are coming. I know about a number of journalists that went there last week to try to get there and occupy it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It's funny. I applied for it when I heard about it a couple years ago, and I never heard back.
Oh, no, not really. Did you really didn't get an email from us yet?
I don't think so. I remember going on the website. I remember filling out a form, and that's it. So maybe I did, and I haven't checked. But all I know is that I filled the form.
But this is the biggest issue, of course. Like if some mail servers are blocking our communication, then we've got an issue. Now I want to start using SMSs, and of course, this is something that is putting us down. I'm really sorry for that, and I'm doing my best to have the best software to send out email. But still, it's a big issue. So you missed something like 40 emails about the status of the project.
Okay, well that's cool. I'm just happy that it's happening, and it's just awesome. It's such a great. I remember thinking when I was a kid, I would look at the old maps and stuff, and on an old globe I had, it had Yugoslavia on it, of course, and even now people, not everyone knows what happened. The collapse in different countries formed, and it's just very fascinating that the amount of countries actually fluctuates. It's a normal thing that happens. It's not that crazy forming a country. It happens all the time. There's lots of countries that are around. There was a point where none of these countries were there, right? They all actually only formed in the last couple hundred years, really. So it's not as crazy as people might think. And the fact that now, rather than just being by ethnic group, or you just you happen to be somewhere, it's a conscious country, right? You're saying people who have these beliefs that are brought together by a certain way of thinking are going to form their own country of their own free will. And to me, that makes it way more powerful. Like, well, we're all born here, so fuck it, we're all together, right, guys? You know what I'm saying? Because there's consciousness in it. So that's what makes it such a powerful project, and that's why I support it. It's fucking awesome.
Thank you very much. When there are all these countries formed, like ISIS, for example, and they're really on the negative energy. They're running on fear, and they're supported by Saudis, maybe CIA, and so on. And then why don't the same people can create a country based on reason, on a belief in freedom? I think it's a right time for it to do it. So it's just a matter of how fast can we get organized to be a fully recognizable entity, and how fast can we come up with a good plan how to take over this territory and also sell it to the world. And we need to come to Serbia, and we are already doing that, discussing it with the government. And we need to come to Croatia with a really nice plan how they're going to benefit out of this. And they can. There are lots of wealthy people that have signed up for the project, that want to see it happen, and we will bring a lot of capital and make the whole Balkans completely new
the
territory.
Balkans are amazing. This is the thing. Like, I've been there. I've spent time there. They're freaking amazing people who love to have fun. Really much more down to earth people. Like, if you're coming from the West, from Canada, we have some okay people, but there's a lot of fucking assholes. And if you go to Eastern Europe, people are just fucking cool people. The women are unbelievable. The food, there's a lot of different cultures. It's just an amazing place. It's just and I know like most people from the West, they just haven't been there. I spend a lot of time there. It's an amazing place, and I would love to live there. It really is wonderful, and it's a really, really exciting project.
Let me just mention we've got 600 meters long sandy beach there. It's just like Caribbean, and the weather starting in April until late September is very nice. So I invite everybody who don't have a plan for summer holiday, help us settle Liberland.
So, quick question: so can you walk over? Like you say, I'm in Serbia. I could just walk in. There's no. It's an open zone, right?
This is the big issue, right? The Croatia very well recognizes that the only thing that prevents us from starting the country all the way, like be a fully recognizable entity, is that we do not occupy the territory. So they're out of their jurisdiction when they're going to Liberland. They're forcefully removing them from the territory. This is what they're doing. And they know that if we are able to stay there, and this is one of the funny things that we want to do now, have a award for anybody who stays longer than 24 hours in the territory, and make it much larger than the fine that those people get from Croatia police. And they are out of their own jurisdiction, and even their own courts recognize it. So when we appeal,
so they're breaking the law when they go into that territory and they remove you. They're breaking the law.
Yes. They breaking even Croatia's law. And they break international law because it's a cross-border kidnapping what they're doing. And seriously, like they charge you if you go there from Serbia, they pull you over borders to Croatia, and then they charge you for illegally crossing of the border, which is totally insane. They commit crime themselves to make you commit crime in their own jurisdiction. So and of course we've got lawyers. We've got some 1,200 lawyers that apply for citizenship. So we are looking for the best ways how to push it through Croatia system, maybe to European Court of Human Rights, and make the case. So it's nothing that can be done over summer holidays, as many people thought.
No.
And then there is, of course, establishment is kind of,
We just need a few hundred people that on a certain date all say, cool, we've got our tents, we've got food supplies, we're going. We're not, that's it, we're going.
Yeah.
And if they all get arrested, then it's going to get so much publicity. It's kind of a win-win. They're either going to leave them alone, or they're going to.
Exactly. But we also have to be ready for it. Have the whole infrastructure for the state. We have to be able to take care of our borders, and we have to have constitution, laws, so we put everything together. So I kind of appreciate that Croatia is doing what it's doing, because they recognize that this territory is not theirs,
right?
And that they're actually buying us a time to prepare all of it.
Right. Sounds awesome, dude. I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna follow it more. I'm gonna make sure I'm on the mailing list and let people know what they can do to follow what you're doing, and also to help support what you're doing.
Of course, Facebook probably works good, but if you apply for citizenship or you just register on the website, you're going to get emails from us. Hopefully they will get through. Let us know if they don't get through. We'll find a way why it's not getting through. I was hoping that now 99% of emails are going through, and I'm sorry to hear that yours didn't go through.
No worries. I'm excited about it. Dude, wonderful work. Really pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you as
And
well.
I hope next time you come on the podcast, you'll be living in Liberland.
I hope your next podcast is from Liberland.
That would be
actually.
fucking cool, man. I'm looking forward to doing a podcast from there. That'd be really awesome.
Yeah, anyway, and anybody can visit Liberland now because it's on Danube River, 600-meter wide river, and you can already go to Liberland, but you must not step foot into Liberland soil. And so we are doing nice boat trips to Liberland.
Okay.
And we don't have trouble with Croatia police here not listing it.
Okay, beautiful. Well, I'm
All
looking
right.
forward to doing that.
Cool.
All right, brother. See you next time. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
All right, folks. Well, that was, I don't know how that long that was, but I think it actually wasn't that long, but we just crammed in an epic amount of guests and really amazing guests. And I was going to do a whole podcast. I'm being pointed at this wonderful man, but I was going to do a separate podcast with this guy altogether because he can't say what he needs to say in a few minutes. We're already over an hour, so. But I am going to do another podcast talking about the sovereign stuff, and it's going to be really epic. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. This has been so much fun, and I just want to thank all the guests. It was really fucking awesome. And we got some people in the studio who enjoyed it. So, thanks a lot for the Sasha Daygame podcast, guys.